Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are continuing with our series Dawah Ilallah, and we're using the comparative sciences to help us to be more effective in calling people to submit to the one true God, to submit to Allah. In the series we've covered a lot of different topics and a lot of different areas, from science to a little bit of maths. We've dealt with belief systems, we've looked at atheists, agnostics, goths. We've dealt with a lot of different topics. Now we're looking at some of the issues that people will raise when they're talking to you about Islam, and maybe some of the accusations that people will make. And last time we were together, we spoke about how Islam protects the rights of animals, or how humans are to be responsible towards animals, and how animals have a responsibility towards us. And the whole of Islam is basically summed up in two words. What is your intention? Intention number one. And second is your responsibility. So intention and responsibility make Islam easy to follow. One of the things that I found very interesting when I went on Hajj was many people said to me, before you go on Hajj, because it was my first time I went, when I went there, they said to me, you are going to be overwhelmed at what you see. And so I went there expecting to be overwhelmed. And the things that everyone told me that were going to overwhelm me were not the things that overwhelmed me. It was the things that nobody told me about that overwhelmed me. But one of the things that took me about 3 days before it actually sunk in and did overwhelm me was the Kaaba. The first day when I saw it, I went, I'm supposed to be feeling something, but I'm not feeling it. And the second day when I saw it, I thought, what is wrong with me? Why am I not feeling what everybody's telling me? Am I not that good enough? I'm not good enough. Is there something missing in my life? And on the third day, when we actually started going around, then I suddenly realized something. I looked at that door, the door to the Kaaba, that big gold door that they put there. And then it hit me. Everything suddenly made sense. And then I understood what everyone told me about. But at that point, I hadn't seen the door of the Kaaba. So that's what we want to talk about today. In Dawah, we're going to be talking about the Kaaba. Very, very important point that we often have to deal with when we are doing Dawah to people. They will say, you guys are against idol worship, but you all go pray at the Kaaba. You all face towards the Kaaba. Isn't that an idol? Isn't that the very, very thing you're telling us not to do? You want to criticize Hinduism. You people, you pray to a big block. The Christians say, that's where the idol of Allah was inside. That's what they say. They say there was an idol that was inside the Kaaba, and that idol's name was Allah, and that's why you guys are praying. These are the accusations that you're going to hear. So what happened to me when I went on the Hajj, and I saw this Kaaba after the third day? And I looked at the door, because the first 2 days I didn't even look at the door. I was too busy trying to remember what I was supposed to say, what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to be, following the rituals of the Hajj, which are very, very important to follow, by the way. So I'm not belittling that. But on the third day, most of that was over. Now it was time to absorb everything that was going on, to see what was actually happening, to notice things, to do the sightseeing, if you want, of the Hajj. And when I looked at that door, it was like, even now when I think about it, that's why I said we must never get emotional, because people will think it's artificial. We have to be careful how to control our emotion. But that day when I looked at that door, I remembered everything that took place in Islam. How the only religion in the world that established Tawheed was Islam. And the Prophet that established in his people effectively Tawheed was the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. How can I say this? Because when I saw the doors, I was reminded of the time when the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went in there and he liberated the people from idol worship. He cleansed the inside of the Kaaba that had been turned into a place that people would go and worship their false gods. And he took this place that they had turned into a shrine, that they had turned into something totally against what Allah had wanted for mankind. And he went in there and he took out those idols, cleansed it, washed it, purified it. And I could imagine myself seeing this happening, what it would have been like. And when I looked at the top, I could see this man standing there, this dark man from Africa, who had been liberated from being a slave, and standing there shouting the call of prayer for the first time, while this process was taking place. And how all the early followers of Tawheed were standing there, probably eyes full with tears. But when I saw this, I was amazed at this simplicity of this square. It's nothing to write home about. It's nothing amazing. It's just bricks. You know, some people, they go there and they rub their whole bodies against it, and they touch their scarves on it, and they put water on it, and they put the water back in a little container, and they put oils and do all sorts of things. That's going to do nothing. All you did is rubbed your body against a brick wall. All you did was throw a scarf against a brick wall. There's nothing, no magic there. The power is what's not there. That this is a symbol for mankind to realize that there is nothing there. Sounds like a contradiction. There's nothing there. It is a place where we realize that Tawheed has been established in the heart of man, that God is not in his creation. He doesn't live on earth as a man. He doesn't have the needs and the wants and the desires of a human being. When we look at the Kaaba, we understand that it was the place that mankind was given the command to establish Tawheed, and they had lost it for so many years, and now it had come back into the same spot where it would be established this time. And now the accusation that Christians say that there was an idol inside the Kaaba, and this idol was named Allah. So what? What does that prove? Because there's no evidence for such a statement. I mean, they named every other god and put it in there. There would have been Baal. For sure there would have been a Baal in there, because it was a popular god at the time. So if the true God was worshipped by true followers, it only stands to sense that somebody who distorted the facts of the true God would have had an idol by that name there. Just assuming. With no evidence for what we're saying. But that doesn't make it not true that there is one Allah. That just means somebody came along and changed it. Just like we find today, even though Islam is very, very clear, there is no doubt about this, that you are not allowed to go through any other medium other than Allah himself. Still doesn't prevent Muslims from doing it. Still Muslims do it. Muslims are using other things, trying to add magic charms and good luck things to try and make their way to God and breaking their Tawheed. They still do it. So now you can't say the whole of Islam is bad because some of those people do that. No. It's a couple of misguided people. Just like there were a couple of misguided people that may have had an idol there. So that's not a proof or an evidence. What is important is that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his early followers, those early holders to the truth, cleansed it. And they got rid of it. And they re-established Tawheed on planet Earth. The best news, the greatest news ever. The most important event in the history of mankind is when Tawheed was established at the Kaaba that day. We need to take a break. When we get back from the break, we'll continue, inshallah. There is just a simple brick building. There's no supernatural things happening there. The supernatural thing that happens at the Kaaba is that people realize that Tawheed was established. That's the supernatural thing. And the supernatural thing is that you change. You walk away transformed. If you went with the right intention. If you went there as a tourist for a holiday, or you went there to keep your family happy, or you went there because you were forced by your parents, then nothing will happen. And you'll come back probably worse than when you went. But if you went there with the right intention, and you go there to seek truth, and you go there to transform yourself, you'll come back better or the same, not worse. One of the scariest things, one of the most scariest things that I was worried about when I came back is that I would be the same or worse after coming back. Why was I scared of being worse or the same? Because when you go on Hajj, there is somebody who is very, very upset. And it's not the enemies of Islam, by the way. It's not the people who are not Muslims. It's shaitan. Why is he upset? Anybody have an idea why he's so upset? Pass the microphone to the back.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Alaikum salam.
It is because when a Muslim goes for Hajj, after he's done with his Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all his sins and he's purified and rejuvenated. It's like a newborn baby. So I think Shaitan dislikes that very much.
So can you imagine, you go on Hajj, if your intention is right. This is if you have gone with the right intent. If you're just going there to up, down, kiss the ground, I just want to do the tourist thing and get it over with, it's worth nothing. If you didn't perform your Hajj correctly, nothing happened. You just wasted a few days. If you went there and you followed what you're supposed to do without any innovations, without adding things that you're not supposed to do, then it will be accepted from you and there will be a transformation in your life because you are forgiven all your wrong deeds and you stand clean. What do you think Shaitan's going to do when you leave? He is going to do his most to make sure that he catches up with what you've lost out on. He's going to say, this is unfair, and he's going to do everything he can to attack you to make sure that you get all those bad deeds back on again as fast as possible. That's why on a Hajj it is so difficult. This is why you battle and battle and battle and battle. Hajj is no walk in the park. It is tough. You have to concentrate and you go, I'm not listening to anybody, I'm not going to talk to anybody, because what happens? When you go on Hajj, everybody's a mufti. Isn't it? Those of you who are on Hajj will know what I'm talking about. If you're supposed to go and pelt the pillars, what do people say? Oh no, it's literally the devil you're pelting. Another one says, no, no, it's not. Another one says, yes, you must take 50 stones. This one says 72 stones. This one says 7 stones. This one says you must do it 5 times. This one says you must do it 3 times. Everybody's a mufti. This is why before you go on Hajj, you need to find out from the people who know how to do the Hajj properly. Contact the Saudi embassy where you live. Ask them for a disc, a DVD. You don't even have to read a book. It's in your language. It's available in your language. I'll give it to you for free. How to do your Hajj correctly, without innovation, without all the added extra masala and spices on the side. And if you do it, then your Hajj will be accepted. And then when it is accepted, what happens? Shaitan is very upset. And so the whole way through Hajj, you'll find hundreds of distractions. There's no protection from being distracted. Shaitan is doing everything he can. If he gets this right, he's going to get his sins removed. I'm going to do everything I can. I will send his best friend. I will send a scholar. I will send anyone to distract him from doing what he's supposed to be doing. That's why you need to prepare before you go on Hajj. When you go on Hajj, you go, la, 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 I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear. You don't listen to anybody. If you don't know before you went, it's too late to figure it out on the way. You need to have got the DVD, you need to have got the book, you need to have studied it before you go. When you get there, Shaitan is going to use every single tool that he's ever had in his toolbox to distract you from doing at least one of the things right. He'll distract you with everything if possible. But he's going to try and at least get you to fail on one so that nothing is accepted from your Hajj. So make sure you follow it to the letter. You haven't got time to go do sightseeing, visit libraries that are not part of the Hajj, go do shopping. You do what is required for your Umrah and your Hajj. Get it done properly. Then, once that is done, the battle is not over. Because when you come back, he is going to attack you even more. Because now he needs to get his account back up again. So do not expect that when you come back from Hajj, sometimes we expect to be little saints after we come back from Hajj. We think we're going to be perfect, everything's going to be great. It's not like that. Everything becomes a mission. It becomes difficult to wake up for Fajr. It becomes difficult to pray 5 times a day. It becomes difficult to eat properly. Everything becomes a problem because he's hammering you, trying to pull you down. So this is where you have to have a team of people that are protecting you, praying with you, helping you, guiding you, directing you. So don't just think because you come back on Hajj like, oh, look at that brother, you can see he's on Hajj, he's full of nur. That's not nur, that's pride. So make sure that you come back and you submit to Allah even more than you ever did before. This is the time to cry and beg. You've got those extra days are given there for a reason. Those days after Hajj are being given to you for a reason. Because then Allah knew that this is going to be the toughest month lying ahead of you. So get the most out of your Hajj. And remember that the Kaaba, when we explain it to people, explain all these things so they have an understanding that it's not an idol, that there's no, things inside there that we're praying to. That we're praying to Allah, not to the brickwork. That's all the time we have for this week, so make sure you join us again, same place, same time. So from me, Areeb Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.